So Super Mario Brothers the movie has officially passed $900 million globally, and that's before being released in both Japan and Korea. It is an astronomical number, the likes of which Disney has not reached in a very long time, especially with their animated films. Now, the funny thing is, while Universal and Nintendo are completely destroying things in the box office right now, good old Disney decides that, hey, you know what? Making money isn't exactly the most important thing. Let's just keep focusing on indoctrinating kids because that's become our specialty. And what do I mean by that? Well, quite simply, Disneyland is now going to host its first ever Disneyland After Dark event, which is called the Pride Night Celebration. The whole Disneyland After Dark thing just seems really weird to me, but that's neither here nor there. They're going to be hosting their first ever Pride event, and it's going to be two nights in a month coming up very soon, all while everything is burning around them in terms of their entertainment sector. Now, of course, their parks, I've said it many, many times, and let's make it clear early on in this video, their parks do continue to make them money. They are relying on their theme parks to keep them afloat while they are completely getting burned in the box office, and it only keeps getting worse for them. And we're going to go into some of the numbers about their latest animated films and just how much money they actually lost in comparison to how much money Super Mario Brothers is making. So, of course, guys, before we get into it, please consider liking this video to help push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So it says, from bounding into comics, another day, another attempt by Walt Disney Company to promote questionable moral values to your children. Last year, Disney's television animation's Latoya Ravenel admitted Disney had fully embraced her not all secret gate agenda in children's programming, specifically on the Proud Family Louder and Prouder. Now, if you guys didn't check out my review series on Louder and Prouder, I do have to finish it, of course. I apologize for not finishing it. There's just so much to talk about in the news cycle. It's really hard to sit down, watch this TV show, and review it because I do more than one video a day, guys. So it's just, you guys already know the story. But besides that, I did a reviews for the Louder and Prouder series. I started all the way in season 1, and we're still all the way in season 2 right now. And I did every single episode, and it is very much a thing. They do push, obviously, LGBTQ stuff in Louder and Prouder, but to be honest with you, LGBTQ stuff is pushed everywhere at this point. And Disney especially is going to be all for it, so it shouldn't really be a shock at this point. Ravenel's comments came during a Reimagine Tomorrow conference hosted by the Walt Disney Company following the company's revelation that they would campaign against a bill preventing the teaching of sexual orientation and gender identity to children in kindergarten through 3rd grade in the state of Florida. Now, I've made plenty of videos on that. I don't got to get back into it, but here's a picture of the tweet that's coming up from Disney where they say the first ever Disneyland After Dark. Well, that's such a terrible name. Pride Night is coming to Disneyland during Pride Month in June. This separately ticketed event celebrating the LGBTQIA+++++ community and allies will have themed entertainment, Disney characters, specialty menu items, and more. I wonder if Mickey Mouse is going to be wearing like spandex or something, because we've seen that in many videos that I posted shorts about, where you will have literal drag queens in all forms of sexual outfits, damn near titties, fake titties out and everything, trying to get money from little kids, and you got all the white liberal moms cheering it on as it happens in front of them. It's pretty crazy stuff. It says in a blog post promoting the event, Disney Parks revealed the event will feature a Pride-themed parade featuring Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, and their friends just dressed in special attire, whatever that means. They also noted that you could join Stitch at the Ohana Dance Party at Tomorrowland Terrace, where a DJ will be spinning great tunes with joyful energy at a dance party that celebrates Ohana family. Now, the crazy thing is they try to make this seem like it's just one big happy family thing, but we all know that's not going to be the case. Now, obviously, it will be toned down because it is Disney. There is going to be a lot of paparazzi, a lot of people taking pictures and stuff, so obviously they're going to be more so in the public eye than, say, a privatized drag event that kids are invited to. So that's just being real with you. So yeah, it's going to be dumbed down. There's not going to be any like latex or crazy stuff like that or sexualized dancing or anything like that. It's literally going to be the bare bone basic version of a Pride event, and they're gonna try to make money and bank on it. I mean, they're charging $139 fucking dollars a ticket. That is some crazy shit. But let's go into Super Mario and talk about how much money Disney has lost. So Disney obviously is doubling down on their woke nonsense. That we pretty much already know. Bob Chapek obviously doubled down on it, and Bob Iger is going to be no different. They have all said that they are going to continue with their plans for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and LGBTQ stuff, and gay shit, all that stuff. They're going to be doing it nonstop, and to expect them to stop is pretty stupid. I mean, Disney has definitely picked their side at this point, and they've made it very clear. But the thing that drives me insane is just how much money Disney is willing to lose just so so they can say they support this stuff. And the crazy thing is, I don't really think people need to hear you say you support the other side for them to be happy. I just think people really want you to remain neutral. Focus your content on stuff that's more neutral based and not so much on one side. But they're not going to do that because obviously the radical activists have pretty much taken over Disney, and the ones who are at the tippy top, the CEOs and whatnot, they're at the mercy of all the woke activists that they pander to every day. So let's read this part of the article because this is the most important. It says, it was not long ago that Disney was seen as the home for family-friendly entertainment, which is something I've said before. Disney was very well known back in the day for producing some incredible animated films, the likes of which still stand the test of time even if you watch them today. It says many people in the LGBTQ community look down on Disney for its family-friendly and traditional image. Now that Disney has become the outspoken ally for all these radical activists that want to harm children and society at large on multiple levels, the company is rapidly losing ground with families. Rival studios such as Universal are currently leading the early race for the domestic US box office by nearly $600 million with the success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now, keep in mind, this article was written when it was at $600 million. The movie is at $900+ million without releasing in its home country of Japan. Once it releases in Japan, this movie is going to skyrocket past $1 billion. I'm going to assume that it's probably going to hit somewhere around 1.5. I think it's going to trickle out to 1.5. It could be a little bit less than that. But that is insane money for an animated film. Disney hasn't got anywhere close to that number with an animated film in a very long time. And some of the more recent stuff that should have made money absolutely bombed because they were too busy focusing on pushing identity politics and actually making a good animated film. And check this out. It says, meanwhile, Disney continues to struggle at the box office. Deadline reports that the company lost $106 million with last year's Lightyear film, and Lightyear was not an exception. Strange World lost $200 million, and Amsterdam lost $108 million. Now, I know Strange World was a massive loss for them. Strange World got nuked off of the face of the earth. I mean, it was in the box office and then it was gone like after a week or two. Nobody wanted to see Strange World. It was a terrible movie. And again, they were focused on pushing identity politics more so than creating a great story. And what activists would tell you is that, oh, so to you, a great story means only white people. No, you dipshit. It just means that, hey, maybe focus on the story first that happens to include diverse characters versus focusing on a diverse character set that happens to include a story which ultimately ends up taking the back burner against diversity, and the stories always take a hit because of that, because they're too busy focusing on diversity and not focusing on making a good cohesive story that actually makes sense. They'll think of some random fucking story really fast to try to put something together so they could put it up on screen, and it almost always ends up falling flat because people can see right through that nonsense. It says Disney remains committed to these LGBTQ activists despite the massive box office losses. Clearly, the messages and perversions they are pushing is worth the millions of dollars in losses. And yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Disney has obviously chosen their side. That's something that we've made very, very clear. They're not going to falter, and it's just going to come down to how much money they're willing to lose every single year. And I think Disney is so far gone to the point where even if they break even, they will consider that a win as long as they are able to push their messaging and indoctrinate more and more people over time. So that's their ultimate goal. I really don't think they're here to try to make any money whatsoever. If they break even, they're happy, and they're just here to push some messaging. So they are officially a political company. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.